Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Tom Broadbent Lounge. Tonight we are joined by a man that many of you will have seen in opposition defences over the years, doing his best to make our match days a winless one. As a player, this man embodied what it is to be a central defender. Strong, brave, resilient, all of the above. He'd experienced football across all levels and leagues over his 14-year playing career, and I'm sure he's got the battle scars to show for it. At the end of last season, coming off a fairly successful campaign in the National League with Chesterfield, in which the Spireites finished at the playoff places, you'd have thought that at age 31, our guest would have another long playing campaign ahead of him this season. But no, he hung up his boots and put on his black tracksuits here at Swindon Town. Instead of heading footballs and barking orders at the midfielders in front of him, you'll now find him shouting and screaming at the STFC defensive line from touchlines on match days. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our honour to present to you Swindon Town first team coach, Mad Gav Gunning. Gav, hello mate. I'll put a disclaimer out. We have been talking for about 3 or 4 minutes because we thought we were live. Turns out we're not. So apologies for the restart here. Gav, welcome again.
Can you hear me?
I can. No, you're not on mute. Sorry, mate. How's it going?
Decent.
Yeah.
No, obviously we've been talking for a few minutes anyway, but you had me muted, so that's gone well.
It wasn't just you that was muted, it was the whole show. So we've had a bit of a false start here. This is the joys of technology and streaming live. You don't get this on recorded shows. This is the beauty of live shows.
Jobs are good, mate. Let's crack on.
Absolutely. So obviously, speaking to Scott Lindsay last week, he mentioned your nickname is Mad Gav. Where has that sort of been with you for a long time? Has that stuck from a certain point in your career? Have you got any recollection of where that started?
I think it's just from the whole time. Ever since I come over to England, I was a bit of a lunatic, like just doing some mad, crazy shit, and then a bit wild maybe on nights out, doing mad stuff, training, just doing stupid shit. And then obviously, as I got a bit older, I got a bit more mellow, stopped the nights out and that, but then just wild in the changing room and on the pitch.
Well, I don't think it's a bad nickname, to be fair, especially for a centre back. It's a good thing to have in your CV, I reckon.
Yeah, probably from most of the red cards, and that's probably why I've had that name. So,
do you know how many red cards you've had over your career?
Probably 7, is it? 6 or 7?
I was meant to do some research on that, but I forgot. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. It doesn't matter, don't worry. I think it's about 6 or 7.
We'll call it 7, just we'll boost the nickname. Ellis, mate, you got a question up next?
I do. Getting deja vu here. Right, Gav, you're at a decent age for professional football. What made you step out of club football and enter the coaching career? That's from Will on Twitter.
It was a tough decision. I still had 2 years left at Chesterfield, so it wasn't one of them where it was. I spoke to Scott in the summer, and he was keen to get me in, and I just thought I'll jump before I'm pushed, try and get into something new. Obviously, I've had a bad injury history. I haven't played half as many games as I should have. Cost me most of my career, really, and I thought it was time to do something different instead of hanging on.
Yeah.
I've burst that many balls, I think, out of stadiums that had enough of me. Couldn't get insured anymore.
Were you under contract still at Chesterfield this season?
I had 2 years left, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Are you registered at Swindon?
I don't know. I hope not.
I think Scott said you might be. So I think he was hoping to get to the Papa John's Trophy final and whack you in there.
Yeah, we'll be struggling if we need a bag of shit like me.
What we got up next, Chris?
What's the craziest thing that's happened since you've been at Swindon?
The craziest thing since I've come to Swindon, what's happened? There hasn't been that much mad stuff, to be honest. Bit of a scuffle after the Sutton game, that was decent. Bit of a banda, to be fair.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, that's what someone said to me anyway. I never seen it. But yeah, I heard there was a bit of a scuffle after the Sutton game. That was decent. What's up from what I heard about that, but obviously I wasn't there. I didn't see anything. But yeah, that'd probably be it. That was decent.
Fair enough. We'll keep it nice and PG. No fines tonight for any of us. What we got up next? This one's from Mike Dixon on Twitter. He asks, do you prefer the food served at Forest Green Rovers or the pasties at the county ground?
Listen, that vegan stuff fucked me when I was a player.
Do you have to eat vegan as well?
I used to stop at Mackey's on the way home.
That's amazing. I didn't know they'd make you actually eat vegan food as a player.
Why is this dickhead trying to phone me?
Who was it?
Dickhead that works at the club. They know they asked.
Whoever's listening and you're phoning, you're ruining our show. Don't worry about it. Won't have any grudges. Ellis, what we got next, mate?
Yeah. You've trained hard all week, put in a game plan, and then players don't stick to it. How long do you give it before you remind them?
Listen, sometimes it's tough. Like you can go out in a game and things don't go your way. You've just got to adapt. I think as a player, as a coach, manager, whatever you are, your involvement in the team. Sometimes, a lot of times in life, whether it's football or outside football, things don't go your way. You just got to adapt. All you can do is control the controllables. Whatever's in your control that. The other stuff, there's not much you can do. Try and help the lads from the side, yeah, but once they get on that pitch, it's up to them.
Yeah, fair enough. Short and sweet. Should we move on? Chris, is it your one next, mate?
What are your memories of playing against Swindon throughout your career?
Tell you what, I can remember one game I played for Forest Green. Fuck me, I got absolutely roasted. I think Richie Wallens was the manager, and I think they had the lad, what's his name, up front?
Luke Norris.
He went to try. No, not him.
No?
Owen
Doyle.
Oh, Kane Woolery.
Yeah, fuck me. I was trying to catch him, honestly. I was in treacle. Yeah, they had him, and I think the boy that went to Blackpool in the end, he played as like
Jerry Yates.
No, not Jerry. Yeah, Yates might have played as well. The other one was
Keshi Anderson.
Keshi Anderson.
Yeah, very good player. Good player, him.
Yeah, it was a good side, I think. That was a obviously that might have been the season before we won the league. But the squad certainly started getting builded during that season, and that was a special team. Yeah,
to be fair, that was at the point I thought I was getting to a point where I thought, bloody hell, I'm shite. Could not move.
Was that the season that you guys made the playoffs?
I think I was about 26.
Was that the season you were in the playoffs with Forest Green?
Oh yeah, that went well for me.
Yeah, Scott Lindsay had a bit to say about that last week.
That's a classic, that. So that game's going on. My family obviously fly over for it. They're coming up the tunnel, down into their seats, and I'm getting myself sent off after about fucking 2 minutes.
Well,
yeah, it was a good day out there. It went well.
We wouldn't expect anything else from Mad Gav.
Yeah, I think that was the end of my Forest Green career, to be fair. I think after that cost of promotion, that was it.
At least you got a decent meal afterwards.
Yeah, lovely.
None of that vegan stuff.
Tasty.
So what we got next is it Chris? No, is it me?
That's you.
I haven't got a clue. As a youngster in Ireland, there are opportunities with Chelsea, Arsenal, and Man United, but you chose Blackburn. What was behind that?
I think Blackburn was a big club at the time. Probably a mistake to go there if I look back. I should have done better than I did. I had a shit attitude as a kid and had some bad injuries as well. But listen, you end up where you're meant to go in football. Only you can get yourself to where you want to be. And if you don't work hard enough, you go nowhere. Any kids, anything. If you have a bad attitude and you got the most talent in the world, it doesn't matter.
Well, you've got to look at like
the talent's there.
Yeah. I mean, you look at players like Niall Ranger, obviously massive potential as a youngster. Was at Newcastle, smashing it. he ended up coming to Swindon, but his attitude kind of stopped him, I think, from reaching the potential that he could have done and should have done.
Yeah, to be fair, I think there's a lot better players, and like you got Ravel Morrison, who was at Man U, played against him in a couple of Resi games. Thought me, he was a joke, to be fair. But there's loads of lads like that in football. You can only blame yourself. There's no point in looking at other people. It's up to you. It's how you control your emotions. Work hard every day. Every day is a learning day. Come in there, improve yourself every day. You've got a chance. Come in and piss about, you're going to get nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Up next, we've got Ellis. What's your one, mate?
Yeah, Gav, since you've arrived at the county ground, what stood out to you in the development of the defensive unit?
It's my first coaching gig, so it's been different. So just seeing the development of players like Tom Clayton, I think he's it's his first senior taste of football, and he struggled a bit physically at the start. Then you look at him last night; he's playing against probably the best or the most informed striker in the league, and him and Brennan absolutely shackled the boy down. He'll take him off. There's no chance he would ever get whipped in the game usually, but the two lads just knocked him out, and that was it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just developing the lads really. Them little 1% and 2% that can improve you. Hopefully, what I can give them and get them to that next level. Whether it's with Swindon or whether they can move on. Hopefully, listen, the lads, you want them to do really well and move on. Hopefully, with Swindon, get us promoted, but hopefully to further their career as well.
Yeah,
100%.
Absolutely. I mean, last night, obviously, coming up against a Bradford side that are kind of known for being big and physical. I think their attackers are probably like some of the bulkiest you'll probably see in the league. Probably up there with like Sutton United level, coupled with actual football skill as well as physicality. I think obviously Kieran coming into the side last night with Tom, I think Tom's been one of the sort of standout players in the squad this season. But for such young centre backs coming up against experienced physical attackers, it was a proper good showing last night, wasn't it? From those two especially.
Yeah, you're quality. Listen, I thought the whole back four was fantastic last night. Tough evening. Listen, first half you were out. I look a bit. They had us chasing the ball a bit. To be fair, we were just getting a bit wrong. To be fair, we didn't commit to our game plan. So when one or two people don't commit out of 11, that's when it all just goes to pot. You're only as strong as your weakest link. And last night you seen it. And then second half it turns around. The boys. Listen, the two centre halves did fantastically in the first half as well, because Cook didn't have a kick all night, I don't think. And he's a big lad. He's built like myself. Like, he's a big unit for it to be a striker. Like, so they did really well. They're aggressive. They covered each other. They spoke well. But we got some good centre halves. Listen, Angus MacDonald, very experienced player, played a lot of games in the Champ. He's unfortunately going to be out for a period of time. I'm not quite sure how long that is. You got Frenchie. Had a few promotions in his career, done really well. And you got the two boys that played last night. You got Keane Harris, fantastic technical ability, really good player, fantastic lad. So yeah, we got some really good centre halves at the club.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, while we're on the subject of last night, in the first rerun when we thought we were live, we turned out we weren't live. We spoke about the penalty. That was a bit of a nervy one, wasn't it? How did you sort of take that all in the time? Were you feeling the nerves? Were you relaxed? Were you all sort of confident in Jeff as for putting it away? I think you're on mute, Gav.
Yeah, I did well there, didn't I? Decent, that muted. Nah, listen, that Jeff got, watch him every day in training do them penalties. They go in the side netting. And last night, I was looking at this fan who was doing my head in all game. Obviously, about to give him a bit of shite. And obviously, he gets up to give me a bit of shit, and I didn't realise, obviously, the keeper saves it, palms it back down, and Jeffy just slots her in. So, yeah, he'll score the next one. He is really good penalty take. He's got great technique. He's a good player, Jeffy, to be fair. Really good player. I like him a lot. Absolutely.
I think... Oh, sorry, mate. I was going to say, with the penalties, look, we're kind of used to seeing Ben Glavin on pens. Is Luke going to sort of take those off of him, do you think? Do you guys have an order of penalty takers in mind before games? Or was it just a case of the feeling at the time?
Listen, I haven't got a clue what was going on last year, but Glad's got the one and we played. Oh, bloody, I don't remember that game. Harrogate, yeah.
Yeah.
And Glad's, to be fair, he's technically a fantastic footballer, and he missed. And then I think Jeffy obviously must have took the penalties in his career. I've seen him in training every day, and he's got great technique on them. But listen, he missed last night, but I'd back him to score him usually 9 out of 10. So, well, 10 out of 10 because I'd only said 9 because he missed last night.
It doesn't count as a miss if he puts it away afterwards. We'll take it. Chris, you got the next question, buddy?
Is Grimsby really as grim as it sounds?
Honestly, fuck me. I went up to Grimsby. I was about 108 kilos, I reckon. I was like a fucking sumo wrestler trying to play for them, to be fair. No wonder they all hate me up there. But nah, yeah. It's a grim place, to be fair, Grimsby. It's very grim, but listen, they're having a great season. One thing I must say is they've got some fantastic fans, to be fair. They travel away really well as well. They got some good fans, but yeah, it's not the most pleasant place in the world, put it that way.
Loving the Grimsby hate. Who's up next? Is it me? Oh, I've got a good question here. So this one, what possessed you to sign for Port Vale?
To be fair, that Port Vale's a mad one because I went to Orlando and I'd been training there and I was going to sign, and then the manager ended up getting sacked, and then there was a bit of a hoo-ha, whatever. So I've come back to England, and I think it was like mid-season, and I just had no club. They were offering me shit money, so I went there, did really well. I think we won nearly every game that I played, most games anyway. We beat Luton, who actually dominated the league last game. Then they tried to offer me a deal, and I just pied it. I think I went to Forest Green, was it? Something like that, yeah. So, yeah. But, yeah, listen, it was fine. Obviously, would have preferred to be in Orlando, but listen, it is what it is.
Was that the sort of time when Kaká was there?
Yeah, I was there with Kaká and that, trained with him, yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. He must have been thinking, fuck me, here's Mr. Blobby coming out on the pitch here.
Orlando to Burslem's quite a downgrade.
Yeah, it's decent, to be fair, yeah. It was that was when I had to think about life a
bit.
Ellis, what we got next, buddy?
Yeah, we sort of spoke about this before we started this show. But what is the main difference between the Scottish and the English leagues?
I think the Scottish Premiership would be a similar standard to maybe League One-ish. League One, where you'd have you've got your Hearts, your Hibs, Aberdeens. Then you got obviously the two top dogs. Dundee United was a big club, but yeah, they can pay some decent dough. Probably League One level, than the rest would be League Two-ish kind of level. Yeah, I'd imagine so. Physicality. Listen, it's the same kind of physicality when you play certain teams up there, but then when you play a Celtic and Rangers, it's just a different game.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we saw Harry McCurdy go over there in the summer. Do you think Harry will suit that sort of the standard of football over there? Do you think he'll do well?
Oh, he's a little space cadet, but he's a good little player, to be fair to him. I like him a lot. As a player, he's got talent, fantastic technique. Yeah, hopefully he cracks on up there. Let's see how it goes from him. Good move. Hopefully, I don't think he's been. Has he been starting all the time? I don't think he's been starting. Listen, I haven't been checking him.
I think he started once.
Yeah, I think he started one game.
Lasted till half time.
Yeah, so that's yeah. Well, hopefully he books up his ideas and he gets flying up there. He can score a goal. To be fair to him, you just look at him. Even this season, he scored a couple for us, didn't he? And then last season, he obviously ripped it up.
Yeah, absolutely. He's one of those players. I think once he notches, he'll just fly with it. I think. What have we got up next? Chris? No,
yes, it is. Yeah,
it is Chris. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you've had some serious injuries in your career. What's what's that like to deal with when you're on the sidelines and going through the rehab process, sort of psychologically?
It's absolutely shit, to be honest. A lot of lads struggle with it. Yeah, you have a lot of lads suffer a lot of mental health problems when they're injured. When you've got, listen, I've done some micro fractures in my leg. You've got to be on like this poxy machine. It goes up and down. You got to get up and you sit on the couch and it bends forward and back for about 8 to 10 hours. Absolute head melter. Listen, people don't see that part. And when you're playing, when you're playing League Two, you're not earning enough money for people to be giving it like fucking hell. He's always injured. And that they don't realise. They think lads are on 10 grand a week in League Two. They don't. Nobody wants to be injured. And when you're playing football, you always want to play, but it's really tough mentally. It can be a real slog, to be honest. And unfortunately, I had too many injuries myself, and that's why I'm retired at 31.
Yeah, I think unfortunately we've kind of got someone at the club at the minute. We've had on the show, friend of the show, Rashawn Hepburn Murphy. He's struggled with injuries over a long period of time, hasn't he? And he spoke about it at length, and he kind of said he kind of came from the same sort of hymn sheet as you there, Gav. It's a tough place to be in mentally. It's almost a bit lonely, isn't it?
Yeah, listen, you put in so much hard graft. You're out for maybe 8-9 months. You come back, you play for 6 months. I've had this myself. Come back for maybe 4 or 5 months. You do really well. Everything looks rosy. Then boom, click your fingers. You've done your knee again. You've done your ankle, whatever. To be fair, I've done them all. I think shoulder, ankle, knee, back, face reconstructed. The lot.
A bit of the old Fraser Blake Tracy.
To be fair, mine was a lot worse. I had to have my whole face reconstructed last year.
Really?
Yeah, no, I was playing for Chesterfield against Eastleigh it was a Tuesday night. I've gone to head the ball. The guy's gone to like hook it on. Tried to play on, whatever. It came off. Went to the hospital, had an X-ray. I was lucky. I went for 2 different. I went for an MRI, didn't pick it up. Then I went for a CAT scan, and it realised that my whole face was like, all my orbiter was like shattered here, cracked, and that my whole face was all fractured, and my nose was caved in. So I had to have a big operation on it.
Jesus.
You came back to the cup game then, did you?
Yeah, obviously.
Sorry.
Just blagged it for the Chelsea game, didn't I? Yeah. To be fair, that killed me as well, because I ended up tearing my calf like in the game. So I was trying to catch Werner, and I was about 7 stone over my weight.
I've got to Google that. That sounds quite fun to watch.
Yeah, no, it wasn't fun. Fuck me.
Yeah. Nasty. How is Fraser after last night? You had a chat with him after the game?
Yeah, he'll be fine. Listen, he's a hard lad. He's done fantastic since he's come in. He's just one of them guys. He's infectious. I think he's a different kind of character. He's different to what people think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we had him on the show a couple of weeks ago, and he was class. He was such a nice bloke, and proper funny as well. It's a good laugh.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I get what you're saying. I'm not sure he's funny, but yeah, okay.
He did. He told us 2 of his favourite jokes, and
he loves it.
they were funny, but they were bad funny.
Did he not take his true quiz? I don't know.
Did he what?
Did he take his true quiz or not? He likes his quizzes, the boy Fraser.
No, we have to get him on a pub quiz one night, maybe.
Yeah, get him on there, a few candies and that.
That's it, yeah. So the next question's my one. We spoke about it a little bit off air about the picking the ball up incident at Dundee. So what was the story behind that?
That was just another one with my bogey knee. I was playing the game, running on my. I have like a degenerate condition in my knee, so I was running and then I just got this shock down my whole leg, and my leg felt numb. So the ref wouldn't stop the game, so I just sat down, and then he still didn't stop it, so I just stood up, picked the ball up, and just walked off. And that was the end of that. That went down like a shit sandwich at Dundee United, to be fair.
Was that a home game, or was that away? Because obviously there was a few boos on the video clip that I watched. Was that home fans booing? Oh, I think you're on mute, mate. There you go.
The home fans are fucking booing me like mad.
Oh, no. That's a nightmare.
Yeah, to be fair, it was mad. It wasn't good. Like, to be fair, I had a first spell there, did really well, and then the second spell, I was half injured. Like, I'd come back from my PCL, went there, and I was just fucking shit, to be honest. But so I probably went there, ruined everything that I had there. And then, yeah, it was pretty shit. And I picked the ball up, and so, yeah.
Was that the last game you played there, that one?
Yeah, fucking.
What did the gaffer say after?
Like a scalded potato town.
Oh. What did the gaffer say after the game?
He said, fuck all, to be fair. I didn't even get booked. I don't know what the ref was doing. Literally picked the ball up, yeah, went in the change room. To be fair, on my knee, yeah. I wanted to play with the cup semi-final, I think, there. And I wanted to play in that, but then I think they just paid me up after that. It was a bit of a fucking shitstorm.
Oh, well, we'll swiftly move on. Ellis, your question up next, mate.
Yeah. Which player is the biggest joker at Swindon?
At Swindon, the biggest joker, none of them. They all got shit banter, to be fair.
Most of them are listening in.
No, it probably is. He's a funny little lad, Reedy.
Oh, we love Reedy.
Yeah, Reedy, great little lad, to be fair. He's a great lad, Reedy. Love him to pieces.
What's Willow's banter like?
Willow's a good lad. Willow's a good lad. He's a good lad. His banter is it's okay. It's okay.
Oh, okay. Just okay.
I do love it. He's one of my favourites, Willow.
Oh, yeah, you can't dislike Willow. What a hero.
No.
Chris, your one next, mate.
All right, Gav. Then, of all of the backroom staff at Swindon, who was the most likely to cause trouble on the night out?
Trouble on a night out? I don't know. Fuck me. I'd probably have to say myself, to be fair, but I want to throw somebody else under the bus. Maybe Big Ricky. Big Ricky loves it.
Oh, you wouldn't mess with Ricky, would you?
He's fucking hell. Flatting Ricky. Yeah. Nah.
Oh.
Big Ricky probably loves it. He's a good lad. Really good lad. Ricky is.
We have to get Ricky as well,
Keane.
actually.
Tell you what, he was a fucking animal. George Keane.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's different from him.
Who'd win the boxing match between George and Ricky? You going for George?
I don't know. It depends how long it went, doesn't it?
That is true.
If it goes past 40 seconds, fancy George.
There's only one way to find out. You've got to set one up.
Yeah, I mean, we'll sort of stand neutral on that ground because we don't want to get on either of Ricky or George's bad side, to be fair. But I'm back a draw. There you go, score draw.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love it.
So I'm up next. Who was your toughest opponent during your playing career?
I'll tell you who it probably was, and you wouldn't expect it. It was probably like Matt Reid. Matt Reid, he was an absolute polar bear.
Matt Reid?
Matt Reid. You could not get around him. He was like a fridge.
Was he the Nottingham Forest one?
Nah, he was at Lincoln.
Oh, Matt. Oh, of course.
Yeah, I remember him, yeah.
He was a fridge. You couldn't get around him.
Yeah, I remember him, actually.
No, I tell you, it probably was. It was unbelievable. It's like Yelovich when he was at Rangers. To be fair, he was unreal. His movement and that was class. He was tough to deal with. I'm trying to think, did he score? Yeah, I think he probably scored a couple of times against me. To be fair, he pulled off the shoulder. He just had the pants down. But yeah, he was quality. Really, really good. I think he went to Everton then the year after.
Yeah, he smashed it there as well.
He was quality. Him, to be fair, really, really good player.
Yeah, 100%. Probably one of the best. I'd say one of the best strikers of the SPL over the last sort of 15 years. It's probably up there with. I know Kenny Miller didn't do amazing over this side of the fence, but him and Kenny Miller for me are probably the two best strikers from the SPL up there.
Yeah, Kenny Miller was a good player, to be fair. He played until he was fucking 40 odd as well, to be fair. He's a machine.
Yeah,
He came down to Wolves and that down here. He played Celtic, Rangers, had a proper good career. Jelavic definitely. Actually, when I think about it, he was quality.
Yeah, 100%. Chris, what's up next, mate?
Ellis is before me.
Is it Ellis?
I think it is me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, mate.
Sort of opposite to that question. Who was the most talented player you played alongside?
Listen, one of the most talented lads that I've played with, he was actually at Forest Green. He's there now. He should have had such a good career. Reece Brown, his name is. Absolute, his talent is incredible. He was so good, even better than lads like top champ players, friend, whatever. He was a joke.
Really?
Absolute joke of a talent.
Is he young still? How old is he?
He was Bobskied. He was absolutely Bobskied. He could literally fall asleep in a training session, and he literally was fucking half asleep. But he had so much talent. Probably one of the most talented players I've come across him, without actually making it big.
That's a good answer, that, because usually you kind of get academy players like you might have played with a Cristiano Ronaldo, and it's like, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely him. He was a joke.
I like that one. Chris, you're up next, mate.
All right, Gav. What was the highlight of your playing career?
Fuck me, when it finished. Put me out of misery. Honestly, I've burst that many balls in my head. I wouldn't insure them anymore. No, I don't know. I don't think I made the most of my career with the talent that I had at first. But listen, you live and you learn, innit? That's what it's about. I don't really know. I played in a few Scottish Cup finals. That was all right. Got beaten them. That was the one we lost with Dundee United against St. John's. Fuck knows how we lost that. We played shit on the day. We had a really good squad. Probably something like that.
I mean, I can imagine walking out on a training pitch with Kaka wasn't too bad.
Yeah, that's probably the highlight of his career as well, to be fair. Walking out beside me. He probably thought I was there to do his fucking bins.
What was he like? Did you speak to him?
He was just quiet. I think he went to church. He went to church at the weekend. He was just, chilled.
Oh, nice.
He's Ballon d'Or.
Oh, yeah. That's some difference going from Grimsby to playing with Kaka.
I think Grimsby was after that, to be fair. Yeah, so that was a big absolute nosedive. But look, yeah. Listen, I know I'm caning Grimsby a bit, but it's a decent club, Dan. You got some proper good fans.
Yeah, they're a decent club for their sort of level, aren't they? A big club for the level. What we got up next? It's me. What was the best practical joke played on you during your career?
I don't know. There was a lad I played with at Dundee United who was quite decent. Johnny Russell, his name was. I think he plays for fucking Kansas City or Vancouver, or one of them out in America. He's a funny little prick. He used to cut like holes out of your jeans and that. So I'm sure one day I come in and I fucking put my jeans. I went to walk out the change room and he cut the balls out of the middle of them. He was a funny little lad. He was he's done really well for himself as well. To be fair, he was funny. He loved the banter. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, have we had many sort of jokes fly about the change rooms at Swindon this year?
I don't really think the lads are on that banter, like putting gear up. To be fair, some of them could do with that gear being cut up. Fuck me. No, but I don't think they're on that. No, they're quite sensible lads, and they're just good lads.
Well, that's kind of both good to hear and also disappointing to hear. But if we get promoted, it's good to hear. Ellis, what we got next, mate?
Yeah, this sort of ties in with sort of the most talented player you played alongside. But which player was most adept at the dark arts that you've come up against?
Fuck me, I'd nearly say myself, to be fair. That was all I was good at.
What were the best tricks in the book?
Kicking, standing people down the Achilles, standing on someone's head when they side tackle you, all that kind of stuff.
Standing up to the nickname there.
Someone that I played against, I don't know. There was a little fella in Scotland, actually. He was the Hartlepool manager. He was a nasty little fucker, Paul Hartley. Another lad I played with at Dundee United, actually, Willow Flood. He was about 4 stone, but he was nasty. He'd let at people.
What was your go-to?
Me, just stand on the foot in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. You know, I'm sure I whacked the lad that this podcast named after. I'm sure I whacked him in the bollocks when we played Swindon one night at that game. I got rims.
I remember it. I actually remember that.
Yeah, he didn't like it.
Oh.
He had his big muscles out now, but I'd flattened them.
Well, yeah. I mean, so Tom's an absolute legend around here.
Yeah, this is the first time he's actually been
slandered,
slagged off on the show.
Yeah. So Tom slander. Can't deal with that.
Nah, I'm only joking. To be fair, I just whacked him in the bollocks and he was raging, but listen, it is what it is. Listen, he's done well, that lad, as well, because he come out of the army, didn't he?
He did, yeah. He came into... so he left the army. He actually joined my local side, Farnborough. So he's playing like Ryman Prem, I think it was at the time. I think he went to Hayes and Yeading United, probably a league above, and then sort of from nowhere jumped straight into League One with Bristol Rovers. So, I mean, to do it at that age as well, that's not done very often, is it?
Listen, fair play to him. Great achievement. To go from obviously being in the army to professional football is fucking fantastic. But
yeah, can't knock it.
Yeah.
Chris, what's up next, mate?
Which coach that you played under has had the biggest influence on your career, or sort of as that you take from moving into coaching?
Listen, I'd have to say the gaffer here was a massive. He used to do all the coaching at Forest Green. He was fantastic on the training ground, to be fair to him. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, he was quality. Who else? Chesterfield gaffer when I was there, James Rowe. He was really good in the football side of stuff. He was fantastic. Trying to think, the bigger ones that I've had, I'm fucking, to be fair, I didn't really like them, but I'm sure they hated me as well, to be fair. I was a bit disappointed, like, in the football side of stuff, but yeah, them ones probably, the gaffer was a big one, I think.
That's nice to hear. I think, obviously, the gaffer, we had a chat with him before the show last week. We sort of mentioned that you were sort of in the pipeline of coming on the show, and he had nothing but good things to say about you. He clearly, you guys have a good working relationship as well. Of having like sort of you socially, seems like you guys get along as well.
Yeah, he's a proper good guy, the gaffer. Listen, he's been through a lot of ups and downs. He's come out the other side and he's doing fantastically well. Come into management like a duck to water, really. Fucking, I don't know what more people can expect. I know. Listen, it's always tough when someone who's the assistant takes over as the manager's gig, and people are like, oh, you took the cheap option, all that shit. But listen, from where Swindon were last year at this stage to where we are this year, I think we're doing a lot better.
Yeah, definitely. I think the immediate reaction at the time, obviously, there was a long time where the club were looking for a manager and there wasn't an appointment made immediately. And obviously you're getting people like Michael Carrick and Ryan Mason, these big sort of names being linked to the club. And then it gets announced that your assistant gaffer from last year is taking the role full time. I think ultimately that was probably what led to a bit of the pessimism to start with. But as you say, you can't argue with sort of the tangible progress that we made this season. It's there for all to see, isn't it?
And I think the style of football as well. Listen, if you watch the Harrogate game, fuck me, you'd want to get us out after one game. But I think that was one of them games where we played really well for about half an hour, 35 minutes, and then it just went to pot. We just made mistake after mistake, and we just kind of we didn't do the basics well enough, and then we flipped it on its head. We're playing some really attractive football, different segments to our game. Yeah, we've got a few strings to our bow now, I think. Different ways we can go about it, different ways we can hurt the opponents, inside the pitch, outside the pitch. We got a lot of attacking flair, I think, and attacking quality as well. And defensively, we've done well. We haven't conceded that many goals. Keeper's fantastic, so talented. Really, really, really fantastic goalkeeper. He's got a right chance to have a good career.
Yeah, I mean, we say it every week as a disclaimer to anyone at Middlesbrough that's listening, any Middlesbrough fans. Sol Bryn is absolutely terrible. He couldn't catch a cold. Just shocking. Ellis, what's up next, mate? Penultimate question.
Yeah. Gav, what is your biggest regret?
Biggest regret? Probably just having a shit attitude when I was younger. Thinking I was better than what I was, because I was highly rated kid, got pushed up towards the first team at a young age, and when you go like reserves for it, all that kind of stuff, when you're a young kid, it sometimes gets to your head. You get ahead of yourself, and then what happens is what I did as well, I would judge so I'd see senior pros like your Stephen Reeds and that in the physio and be like, fucking hell, what's up with them knee injury? Oh, they should be fine. Like, how are they getting paid so much in the physio realm? And little did I know, fuck me, my whole career would just be injuries. So sometimes you got to look outside the box. Really, you can't just have tunnel vision. I think for young footballers growing up, attitude's the most important thing. The most important thing you can have is fantastic attitude, because that'll bring you so far. There's players who have had championship, premiership careers with just limited ability, with attitudes that were just literally just straight tunnel vision.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. I think obviously Town have got quite a young squad this season, haven't we? So I'm sure that's probably something that you'd be passing on to the boys in the dressing room, because ultimately I think the squad that we have, because they're so young and the sort of the raw ability that they clearly have, I think there are a lot of boys in that dressing room that can go a long way in the game.
Yeah, listen, to be selfish, you want them to stay here and do really well for Swindon, but a few of these boys can move, definitely. They're better than the level, and you can see that on a Saturday. They are better than this level of football. So hopefully in the next couple of years they can show that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, if we end up getting promotion once, maybe twice, we end up in the Championship, say in a few years' time, there's no one going to be begrudging a Jake Wakelin of a move to top side of the Championship, or a Premier League move if that was to come around. It's progression, isn't it? It's circle of life.
Yeah, that's what happens. Listen, football is a short career. People think that you just The problem is that young footballers as well, they think that you just get that salary your whole life. It doesn't work like that. You've got that for like 15 years max. If you're lucky, maybe if you have a long career, but your dough goes right down. So, but unfortunately, the lads think the money just keeps coming, and they just get giddy and get ahead of themselves, and they're just not very clever. But look, such is life sometimes.
That's
you
it.
live in your lane.
Yeah.
You live in your lane. If you don't, you just keep getting burned.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we come to the last question of our segment. This one comes from our friend Joe the Cairo. He asked, "You have the voice of an angel. Can you give us a song?"
I knew he was going to do that. No chance.
Oh no. Where's this come from? Are you a bit of a singer in the dressing room?
I'm not bad, but obviously Joe, fantastic guy. We had an away game and he invited everybody around to his house. Such a nice guy, one of the nicest guys I've met in football. Invited all the backroom staff over to his house, made us lovely pizzas, bit of lasagna. It was lovely. Great host, beautiful wine, fantastic whiskey, and then he got the guitar out, and then Jonah started singing and nearly fucking nearly broke the windows in the house, so then I had to take over, and obviously Joe was impressed. So yeah, that's where it comes from.
Well, when we get promoted, we'll have to have your Paolo Di Canio moment of singing on the stage in front of the town end.
Yeah, guaranteed I'll do that, definitely, without a doubt.
Happy days. Well, that's the sort of the end of the questions that we had put into to you. Something that we'd like to do before we let you guys go for players and staff. Obviously, we've asked quite a few questions to yourself. Is there anything that you'd like to ask us as a first team coach and as fans?
As fans, I'd just like to add, just be patient with the team. Listen, we're trying to play a certain style of football. If the fans get on your back, it's really hard to do that. So when we're playing out, we're trying to work our angles off our goal kick. Yeah, nearly no other team in this league is trying to do that. But we're trying to play an attractive style of football. So if Saul gets one and he shanks it, I'll play odd time. I just don't get on his back. Leave it. It is what it is. It's going to happen. You must make mistakes to improve in football all the time. You don't make any mistakes, you just stagnate. No improvement. But the way we're trying to play, the fans just need to be patient. And it's starting to come. Listen, we're getting better. We're not quite where we want to be, but we're getting there. We're improving all the time. But yeah, just stay with us.
Top answer that.
Yeah, I couldn't say better, I don't think. Completely agree with you there, Gav. Well, that we've done we had 45 minutes planned. We've done a bit over because we had a bit of an error at the start of the show. So, Gav, we'll let you go and enjoy your evening, mate. I'm sure you've got a busy day tomorrow training. Thank you very much for coming on, buddy. Appreciate that. You've been class.
See you at Mansfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mansfield. Let's go. All right, cheers, lads. All the best. Yeah, thank you.
Cheers, Gav.
Cheers, Gav.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, boys, let's jump back over onto Twitter, shall we? And
I'll join you on Twitter. Give me 2 secs.
Yeah, we'll join in this show on Twitter. Right, 2 seconds. Well, everyone, I think that was class. What a guy! He, I said at the start of the show we'd had a lot of questions in for Gav, probably more than the gaffer, and I think that's kind of maybe because he's a bit of an unknown to the town fans. But what a character, what a bloke, and obviously it's clear to see that he's got a good relationship with not only the manager but also the players. Chris, what were your thoughts on that, mate? That was a different one. It was good, wasn't it?
That was absolutely brilliant. I mean, it was just a completely different insight than we've had before, and it's nice to speak to the coaches as well as the players.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've had Scott on, and he was. It's funny to see the different sort of approach, isn't it? We've had Scott be very laid back and sort of level-headed, and then we've had Gav come on and go all guns blazing, and you can tell that. I don't know how I describe it. He's a character, and I think you need those in your dressing room, whether it's a staff or a player, really.
Exactly. I mean, what a character in those sort of insights. It's just a lot different especially from someone as was bashed away in a lot of the lower leagues, as well as a bit of the time in SPL. So you've got an idea from various clubs.
Yeah, definitely. I just loved his the stories of going from playing with Kaká in Orlando to going, playing kick it, head it at Grimsby and getting your head smashed in at Chesterfield. It's different.
Very different.
Absolutely. We've got Ellis trying to connect.
Hello, sorry.
Are you there, mate?
Yeah,
I can't.
I'm there.
It just says you're connected on my screen.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool.
I can't hear Ellis on my end, which is a bit of a problem. So Ellis, do you want to leave and then come back in? We'll start. Obviously, we had a chat with Gav there, Chris, about the Bradford game. What were your thoughts watching that last night? It was a bit of a squeaky bum one, wasn't it?
Well, I thought we started really well. First 15 minutes, we were the better team. So much so that their commentator wished that Johnny Williams would get a dead leg. So
yeah.
But those first 15 minutes, we were on top. But obviously, when Fraser went off injured, we lost our way a bit, and we didn't touch the ball, did we, for the last 25 minutes of that half, and then regrouped at half time. And once we came out in the second half, we were by far the better team second half.
Yeah, definitely.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Fantastic. Oh, have we lost Joe?
I can't hear Joe now.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Always got.
Well, anyway,
always
else,
got
we're
some-
just talking. We're just talking about Bradford. So, what were your views on the game?
Well, I didn't manage to catch the whole game, but I saw clips here and there on Twitter. But by the sounds of it, we were much better in the second half than the first half. It was a rubbish penalty, mind, but good that Jeff Cott followed it up, and always love sort of a last minute equaliser. But you know, a good point against a team that look, Bradford are probably going to be a team that are going up this season. I think you could say that, or certainly be around that sort of promotion area. So a point against Bradford, can't really complain, can you?
No, they played some decent football, and they had chances. I mean, they could have put that game away before half time, but they didn't, and they let us back into it.
Yeah, and you can see that like as a team, we can play our football a lot better against a team like Bradford that also try and play football and not just like hoof it forward. Yeah, we like you said, towards the end of the second half, well, the whole of the second half and snippets of the first half, we managed to get play some good football, and we spoke about it with Gav, but the two centre backs did an amazing job. I think Darcy played really well when he come on. Hutton up the right played well. I think, yeah, like I said, towards the end of the second half, all our whole team was playing pretty well.
I think we've got to give credit to Kieran Brennan as well, because he's had a difficult time coming in and to play like he did last night.
Oh yeah, one of our best players, definitely.